Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest for me right now. Now, the first market I want to take a look at, of course, is the mini Dow future. If we come and take a look at this market here on the daily chart, we can see that the market from last week, we had the sort of pull back into 17,400, and now we've had a nice solid advancement from there. If you recall, last week I was looking at this market on the sort of intraday time frames, and I was cautiously long above 17,500, so above these sort of old highs up here, well, 17,550. Reason being is that we did have some divergence on the intraday time frames. That has now sort of we've now had the pullback back into the averages here on the daily, and now we've got an advancement higher. So looking here at the condition of the market here on the daily chart, does look very strong. We've got a nice uptrend again, just a pullback and a rejection of the buy zone here, and a movement on. Having said that, at this moment in time, the market is looking, is stretched away, but we do have some convergence here on the indicators. So again, what I'm doing is I'm coming down here to the intraday time frames, and I'm looking for opportunities here. So here on the sort of 4-hour time frame, we can see the sort of market structure levels that we identified sort of over the past few weeks, and we can see that last week, in fact, the market has pulled back in. It's tested 17,400, and now we've got the advancement on again. So I'm going to be looking at trading opportunities around these levels. So at this moment in time, sort of maybe a pullback into sort of 17,550. That sort of area would be nice to sort of start to look for opportunities to get long, utilizing sort of trend following trading strategies like the trend flow trading strategy that we use. If we come and take a look at the next one, now the pick of my currency futures this week has moved on from the Australian dollar to the Japanese yen. And this is the reason why. If we come and take a look at the Japanese yen, if we look at the weekly chart, we can see on the weekly chart we've got a sort of a solid uptrend forming here. We've got higher highs, higher lows, moving averages in the right order. Again, we've got some agreement with our indicators here, so we've got sort of convergence here. Even if we start to look at sort of market structure here, we can see that right underneath price action, right underneath that sort of consolidation, we've certainly got a level there that's been support and resistance in the past. So quite a nice sort of consolidation there, looking for opportunities. And certainly if we get a break above the highs up here, well, then there looks like sort of pretty much nothing in the way for quite a move, a reasonable move higher. If I come down to the daily chart and we sort of zoom this up, here on the daily chart we can mark in those levels that we were looking at on the weekly, and we've got this sort of level underneath the sort of consolidation here, and we could also look at something a little higher, and we can see that these levels have been tested a few times, and we'll see these a little bit more clearer on the sort of intraday time frames. But we just need to be a little bit cautious here, because although the market's tested this higher level 3 times, we've also got some divergence coming in here into the market. It's just indicating for me that we've got we haven't sort of got a great deal of strength here, and I might be sort of preferring to look for opportunities trading between these levels as opposed to looking at a breakout at this moment in time. So if we came down to the intraday time frames, we come down to the 4-hour time frame and just zoom out of this a little bit, you can start to see what I mean here. We've got through this sort of sideways consolidation that we looked at on the weekly chart and the daily chart, we've got sort of about 3 levels here, 3 market structure levels here that I'm looking at, and we can see that these have been support and resistance in the past. So for me, I'm looking at trading opportunities in between these levels at this moment in time, and what we can start to see here is we've got a nice move up here on the 4-hour chart. Well, in fact, if we start to come down to something like the 30-minute chart, we've got a very nice intraday trend here. So on these sort of markets, on these sort of time frames, we've got beautiful optimal chart structure here, moving averages in the right order. We've got some nice indicators, and markets sort of pulling back into these areas, pulling back into these levels could help us with potential trading opportunities. So again, looking at more intraday opportunities on this sort of market with these sort of chart structures. Now, last week I was looking at copper, but this week the next market I want to take a look at is crude oil. And crude oil, as I say, is looking a bit more interesting to me than copper this week. And if we take a look at the higher time frames, we'll start to see why. So here on the weekly chart, if I just zoom into this, we've got a nice trend here on the weekly chart. Moving averages all in the right order. And we note that each time the market sort of comes back into the averages here, the next sort of leg of the trend begins. We get a pullback, bearish candles, next leg down. At this moment in time, we've just pulled back into the averages and we've got a couple of bearish candles. So for me at this moment, a break, this week's candle so far is bearish, but it hasn't really closed, well, it hasn't closed below the previous week's. So if this week's candle closes below the last week's candle, then I think we could be looking for sort of more bearish action here. I think the market could be looking for maybe a continuation of the move lower here, certainly for the next sort of week or two. If we come to the daily chart though and start to look at the daily, we can see on the daily that the market's in a strong uptrend. Even when we start to look at the uptrend here, the new higher low here we can see is still a higher low. So technically the market is still in an uptrend, but it's fairly close to that level. So I can see a level, let me just mark this in here, just underneath this previous low. So that's around 37.50, which has been again support and resistance in the past. So if the market breaks below this sort of level, then I think again on the daily chart we've turned into a downtrend, or this uptrend has broken, and again that could be supporting a move that we see there on the weekly chart. I'll come down to the 4-hour chart, and let's change this back to the 4-hour. So here on the 4-hour chart we can see that we've got a downtrend already formed here in the 4-hour chart with lower highs, lower lows. We've got convergence here on the indicators. The level that we were looking at on those higher time frames was 37.50, which was around here. So we can see, if I just zoom out, we've got a couple of market structure levels here to help us with our trading. We've got 37.50, and on the 4-hour time frame we've also got another level here that we've identified in previous weeks around 36 as well. So again, looking for trend following trading opportunities as the market's sort of pulling back into the averages, using the likes of the trend flow trading strategy to take advantage of these moves. And certainly on this market, if we can get a break below these levels, break through these levels, then I'll be looking for a deeper move on those higher time frames. Okay, so let me just tell you about the webinar events that we're running here at TradeStation International. If we come across to the TradeStation International website and then we come over to the webinars tab, you can come down to the live webinars, and we have a couple of events coming shortly for you next week. So we have this one here on the 5th of April the 5th, which is the first part of the Traders Edge education program. This one is completely free of charge to join, and we'll be looking at starting to look at some of the techniques that we use to help us with our trading opportunities, and also starting to build those trading strategies. We also have another one next week, which is day trading the index futures. Both events completely free of charge to join. All you need to do is to navigate to this website, and then you can click on subscribe to join. Okay, so those are the markets that I'm keeping a close eye on this week. I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.